you are incredibly precariously perched. I have a tripod. You're on the mini one. I have a big one. Am I using it? No. Hello everyone, Happy New Year and welcome to the Spring Snowflake podcast. My name is Sophie. I am coming to you from there's blue sky, but it's very cold, Oxfordshire in the UK. I haven't done this bit in a while and I ended my Vlogmas early. So we're going with no show notes, a vague plan, but I wanted to turn my camera on. So, how the devil are you all? A bit of admin for you first. You can find me on Instagram as Sophie Swan or a Spring Snowflake. I am a crochet designer. I can say that now because there's 4 designs in the world. That's my tumble dryer. Don't think you'll be able to hear it, but I can. I'm a crochet designer and general yarn enthusiast. And you can also find me, where can you find me? On Mighty Networks. There is a oh my god, I'm so rusty, guys. There is a Mighty Networks group for this podcast. All the links will be down in the description box below. I don't know where show notes will be. They'll probably just be in the description box. I'm in a period of, I don't know what the flip I'm doing with this part of my life at the moment stage, but we'll talk a bit more about that right at the end with like life update. First things first, we talk about yarn on this podcast mostly, and I've got quite a lot to show you, but as it's a new year I thought I'd kind of do clean slate. I have got an FO. I don't think it's in the house though. I'll show you that next time. I'm going to show you what I'm currently working on. I did a bit of an audit of all of my projects over the kind of weird period between Christmas and New Year where no one knows what the day is. What does Ali call it? Crimbo limbo. In that crimbo limbo bit. And I did a bit of an audit and I have a lot of whips. So I frogged a few, and then Bernadette of Bernadette Makes on Instagram is doing is kind of running the hashtag of Stash Down 2022, and I am trying as best I can to follow that. It's the same rules as Stash Dash. So for those of you who are aware of the Knit Girls summer along, craft along, Stash Dash, she's following the same rules as that. So it's basically you set yourself a target, it's a race against yourself of how many meters of your stash. So anything that you bought prior to the 31st of December inclusive 2021 is counted as stash. Anything that was born in 2022 it can't be counted, and you count your meters, and by the end of the year that's your stash down. So yeah, I'm taking part in that. And while I'm not going to say I'm not going to buy any more new yarn, and I'm not going to say I'm not going to start anything new, I'm going to try and be more mindful of the fact that actually when I have a lot of things going on, my brain goes really furry. Yeah, it's not pleasant to be in my brain when there's too much going on, and quite frankly that's kind of been pretty much the entirety of 2021. Hence the not podcasting and kind of having to step away from things when they get too overwhelming and all that kind of jazz. However, I have one piece of unfinished business from 2021, and that is my blanket finish along. I did put a little warning up on Instagram in the last few days of 2021 to say, guys, you need to put your stuff up if you haven't already. So I haven't drawn the winners. However, we have 3 prizes that I have, and I'm also going to run a giveaway, which I'll talk about once we've done the prizes. So, first prize, and excuse the crinkling, they are in plastic bags to make sure that they all the parcels stay together. And there will be parcels and general nice stuff that goes in with these things. However, I'll show you the main prizes. The first one is this lovely bag. And I'm sorry, I apologise for the lighting, but this lovely bag from the gorgeous Jo of So Can Jo, who has finally, as of September, started selling her bags. She was at Perth Festival of Yarn and she does do custom orders, although I'm not sure kind of the status at the moment. But yes, this gorgeous, springy, and I would call this one of her medium bags. Yes, because if I give you so that's a large bag, that's a medium bag. Yeah, so one of these gorgeous things is one of the prizes for the blanket along. The second prize is from Giddy Yarns. The lovely Helen sent me the February box. So this was a while ago. I've had this for a while. This is her February box of February 2021 of her Marvellous Monthly Minis box. I'll open it because it was last year. So yeah, you get the lovely card and then it's all wrapped up nicely. So I'm not gonna, but it's the pigs. So yes, that is another prize. So you get 5 20-gram minis. Yes, 5 20-gram minis from the lovely Helen of Giddy Yarns, plus a few extra bits as well. And then the last prize is from the lovely Lone, who is a lonely sock lady. And again, kind of on the theme of blankets more than anything else. She has sent, and I apologise for the crinkling, these gorgeous mini skeins, which are another 5, yeah, another 5 20-gram mini set called Baby, 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 Oh. And again, that'll come with a few little extras as well. So what I will do is I am going to put the winners of the blanket finish along on the screen now. And I'm also going to put them on the Spring Snowflake Instagram thread. And I'm also going to put them in Mighty Networks, and I'm also going to put them in the description box below. So there will be 4 places that you can find out if you've won the make-along. Those people who have won, congratulations! And thank you for taking part in my silliness. And please could you contact me, preferably on Instagram. Yes, either at Sophie Swan or at a Spring Snowflake. I don't mind. Both of the notifications come through to my phone, so that's fine. And we'll get sorted with sending your prizes out to you. Yay. Now, it's the start of the year. This week was Blue Monday, although, who was it? Samaritans renamed it Brew Monday. So encouraging people to chat to friends and have a brew, have a tea. I've just finished a tea. I had biscuit brew, but it is empty now. This is in my Four Seasons Hotel Hampshire mug, which I love it. It makes it's just the perfect huge mug size for tea. Anyway, but I have 2 non-yarny gifts to give away because we have had 2021 was just as bad as 2020, but for different reasons. Well, similar reasons, but different because it was just ongoing rather than new peril. So I thought I would do a couple of care type parcel giveaways. So one is very much not yarn related. So there's things like a Sugar and Sloth monthly parcel, which includes kind of pins and stickers and stationery type stuff. It's also got a candle in it and also some foot balm. And the other one is crochet related. So it's got some tea, a canvas bag, and also this. This is the Dinosaurs, Mammoths, and Prehistoric, and more prehistoric amigurumi. I still can't say that. From Meteor Books. These are the same guys that do Zumigurumi. And I got gifted 2 of these books. One from... No. Yeah, one from my kid and one from someone else. So I've kept the one from my kid, obviously. And I'm giving this one away. So, for those of you who crochet, there's that one. For those of you who don't crochet and would like just a hug in a box, there's another one. So, first things first. This giveaway is going to be in the comments down below. You have to be a subscriber. And I would like you to tell me, I'd like you to tell me one thing you're going to do to look after yourself this year in 2022. I think this time of year is all about goals and making, like, trying to make ourselves better and things like that. That's not for me this year. My intention this year is to find ways to look after myself and to keep me going, basically. So, for example, one of the things that I want to do for myself this year is to go on regular walks. Solo walks, stick a podcast in and just walk for at least half an hour. It clears my brain, it gets me out, gives me fresh air. I'm stuck either in the house a lot or at work, and once you're kind of stuck into those things, you don't tend to leave, do you? So just getting out and breathing the fresh air and having a bit of a walk and having some solo time where I can just switch off is a thing I really want to commit to this year, just to look after myself more than anything else. I am a sociable creature by nature. I'm very extroverted, but I get that from quite a few areas of I go into the office for work, so I get to see people at work. And I've been finding more and more, actually, with having suffered from depression and anxiety, that actually I do still need that solo time. My brain just now can't cope with the fact that it needs input all the time. So I do need that solo time. So I'm still becoming slightly more introverted in my old age. So that's my intention. Yeah, it's my intention. What's yours? Put it down in the comments below and make sure you put the word intention in there, and then the YouTube comment picker can find it and show me what you said. And then once we and then also, oh God, complications. So the word intention must be in there so that I can pick you. And then if you can also put, if you want to be entered in for the dinosaur one specifically, put the word dinosaur, the dinosaur book. So make sure if you want the crochet book, put dinosaur, and put intention as well. So yeah. So I'll see all of them, and then I'll pick a couple, but I'll specifically make sure that one of them has asked for dinosaur. Okay? Cool. Obviously, if it picks two with dinosaur, then one of you's getting the care package. But I hope that's okay. Cool. God, that was complicated. Right. I need to change my memory card. I'll be back in a minute with the yarn. And we're back. So, I am going to talk to you about my current whips. I started off the year with about 23 projects in some form of progress state. Multiples of them are blankets, so they're not as urgent. In fact, none of them were really urgent. There's a few that are presents, and I also sent promissory notes, basically, to a few friends, because I wanted to make them something for Christmas, but I didn't want to put pressure on myself to kind of do all the making and generally just get stressed in December. So there were certain people that got gift vouchers. So I've got some gifts that I owe people, but they already know that it's on my mind, and they'll get it at some point this year. So there's a few new projects that have got on my list to start at some point this year. So I'll show you those as I start them. But first things first, let's talk about my temperature blanket. So I did a temperature blanket in 2019. I skipped it in 2020, which I regret, and I am going to go back and do something for 2020. I'm not sure whether it's going to be a blanket, whether I'm going to quilt, and because I do have a temperature English paper piecing quilt pattern that might be quite fun to do, to go back and do the 2021 and kind of do that at my leisure. But I did one in 2021, and I kind of lost the mojo for it in about September. So I've picked it up here and there, but I am just over 3/4 done. So for those of you who remembered it, I was doing a quarterly strip basically. So I will show you Q1 and Q2, which is Q1 and Q2. It is going to be long, this one. It should fit a double bed by the time it's finished. And then I finished Q3, and I don't know which way's up. That's helpful. That way's up. Yes, that way's up. I love it. Right, and that was Q3. Now, I know why I lost the mojo on this, because look how much yellow is in this thing. Now, the bands I used 4 degrees centigrade or Celsius bands, which meant that there was a huge chunk of, let's work this out, August that was the same colour, that was the same 4 degrees of temperature. And I think that was my problem, is that I just got so bored of yellow. The whole point of a temperature blanket is that you're doing something little and often every day. And when I got behind, I was like having to just do yellow, and I just got bored. I am not one of those people that enjoys, like, I enjoy a sock because you get to the heel and then you do something different, and then you get to the toe and you do like, you've got cuff, and then you've got heel, and then you've got toe to break up the endless stocking stitch. Although hilariously, I don't enjoy doing pattern socks as much. Lace socks I don't mind. I suppose it depends on whether it's an easy lace repeat, so it keeps me interested, but yeah. Like, I enjoy brioche. I really enjoy brioche, and that is basically the same thing over and over again, but you're still, yeah. Anyway, my brain is weird. So I still have my 2021 temperature blanket to finish. I am this much into Q4. So this is October. Yes, October, November, December. Yes, so I've got October. I'm 4 days. I'm on the 4th of October. I've just finished the 4th of October. So I'm still kind of chucking away at that and working around it slowly. This is living in my midwinter yarns. Yes, she says, hoping to find it. Yeah, it's midwinter. My midwinter yarns linen foxy bag. Can you see the foxes? Yes. It's lovely. It's perfect for the yarn that I just have left for this this bag. I have my Crit and Knit from the Corner of Craft. I don't think she's got any in stock at the moment. And her What If You Are and What If You Are Already Enough narwhal pin from Sugar and Sloth on there at the moment. Yeah, it's basically just 50. So each day is 100, so 50 across and 50 back. Half treble crochets, UK terms, across in a strip, and then I am sewing them together with a double crochet, a white double crochet when I finish the columns, and I need to crochet Q3 onto Q2 to get it done. I have, however, started a 2022 temperature blanket because I really enjoy the finished object of the temperature blankets, because it gives me that historical kind of, oh, that was that year. I do need to embroider the years on them just to make sure I never forget. So my current temperature blanket is living in my Sokanjo bag. This is the weather bag. I love it. There have been, for those of you who've been around for a while, you will know that this has been tested as being able to fit 2 heads. A toddler and a fully grown adult can fit their heads in this at the same time. I don't know whether I'd be able to now with an almost 6-year-old, but I have chosen to move away from acrylic. I'm not an acrylic hater, but I don't want to buy any more. The only reason why I buy acrylic is to make for, as I affectionately call them, muggles. I like to make for friends. I like to make for people who don't work with yarn. And for that, I want to gift them with something that is easy to care for. So, superwash, wool, acrylic, cotton. Those are the three, and even the superwash wool, I err on the side of caution with that as someone else like that I've made for before and I know looks after the stuff that I give them. So the people who I gift socks to, it's always commercial yarn. It's always yarn that's like West Yorkshire Spinners or Regia, or the commercial yarns that are tried and tested and we know can definitely go in a washing machine. And I will always tell them, if you want it to last, hand wash it, all the kind of stuff you do as a maker. Anyway, but this blanket's for me. And while the previous ones have been about kind of using up my stash of acrylic yarn, actually I kept buying because I'd run out of colours. So that's not the point for me. So I decided that I was going to buy a yarn that was a little bit more expensive, but was wool, because I know how to look after wool. And what I chose to go with is, and this one's a bit squishy because I've used it, is West Yorkshire Spinners Colour Lab, which is 100% British wool. West Yorkshire Spinners are obviously based in Yorkshire in the UK. It doesn't say what type of wool it is, but it is British wool. It's 100 grams, 225 metres, so it's a DK weight yarn, and it looks like it's superwash treated because you can wash it at 40. So silver grey is my main colour, so my kind of the colour that brings everything together. And this year I have decided to decrease my temperature margins, therefore increase the number of colours I have. So they're all quite nicely fitted in here, so I'm just going to move some tails around and show you the colours. Let's put it there so you can see. So I have many colours in there. I think it's 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, no. 3, 6, 9. Yeah, 12 colours of West Yorkshire Spinners Colour Lab. I bought half of these from the yarn dispensary in Faversham, who I call my preferred yarn shop. They're my local yarn shop, but they're not local to me. They're in Kent, where I'm from originally. I bought the other half from Wool Warehouse because the yarn dispensary didn't have all the colours that I wanted. I've just found out that my actual local yarn store, which is the Oxford Yarn Store, which is literally a 5-minute walk from work for me, also has this. So I still prefer the yarn dispensary, but I will be buying from them when I need to buy like 3 or 4 skeins. But if I kind of run it, particularly the grey, if I run out of the grey, I will just run across the road and go to Oxford Yarn Store. So the colours I have, and this is from lowest, so yeah, from 0. Under 0 is Thistle Purple, and then you've got Perfectly Plum, Harbour Blue, Electric Blue, Deep Teal, Bottle Green, Pear Green, Citrus Yellow, Zesty Orange, Crimson Red, Very Berry, and Cerise Pink. Cerise Pink ends with 31+. Now, last year we did get some 31+ colours, so I'm hoping, I know that will be the one that I don't use very much of, but there's always uses for pink in this household with my kid. So, if I don't use it, it's fine. And I decided this year to do something a bit different, because one thing that I realised, the other thing I realised about why I put down last year's temperature blanket is because once that strip got long, it got warm. And obviously in August, you don't want a blanket on your lap. So I am doing weekly motifs, specifically hexagons. So I took some time to think about how I wanted to do this, because when you're blanket planning, you do need to think about it. And I decided that I was going to do it's kind of like the Weekender blanket by Sandra Paul. So I'm going to do a rectangular blanket. I think it is, let me find my little piece of paper that tells me what I'm doing. 7 full hexagons across, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hexagons down. But I'll still have the zigzag at the top, but I'm going to fill in the sides so they're straight with half hexagons. Hence the reason why I've got that silver grey. Now, what I wanted to do was have every week starting on a Monday, This year, the 1st of January was on a Saturday. So what I did was the first week of the year actually was mostly grey. And then the last 2 days, the last 2 rounds, Saturday and Sunday, were the actual colours. And then I have a kind of bordering square, hexagon. So because I wanted to do a Monday to Friday hexagons rather than a 7 days from the 1st of January, because a week doesn't start on Saturday, a week starts on Monday. Or Sunday if you're that way inclined, but not Saturday. Anyway, so because of that, there won't be 52 weeks in my year, there'll be 53. So I had to do some jiggery-pokery to work out if I needed some extra blank or filler hexagons, and I do. I need 6 filler hexagons. So 4 on the corners, and then 2 either side of the middle row. And then that works out to having 53 hexagons of actual week colours and stuff like that. So the last one, so week 53, will be all colour up until the last 2 rounds, which will be grey. I think. Wait a minute. Should we have a look at how December ends? Because 52 weeks it's not an exact science, is it? Yeah, so the last day of the year is a Saturday, so actually there'll be 1 round of grey on the last week. We're not a leap year, are we? No, that's why. There's an extra... Oh, I'm confused now. Anyway, December 2022 ends on a Saturday. 2022 ends on a Saturday. Oh, New Year's Eve's going to be messy. Anyway, so yes, that's my plan. There's going to be 53 weekly hexagons with 2 that are apart. There's going to be 6 main colour hexagons to fill up the gaps. And then there's going to be 8 half hexagons down the side. And I'll just be making these as I need them. So if I have a spare moment, particularly when I'm doing like the middle rounds, I will just work on these as well. And I am joining them with the flat slip stitch, I think it's the flat slip stitch zip join, which takes a little bit of time. But it's a really, if I show you this one, you have to work it flat rather than the hexagons together, but it gives a really nice no ridge seam. Now I know I'm going to end up with lots of ends for this. I don't mind sewing in ends. I prefer it when other people do it for me, but I don't mind it so much. So we currently have 4 hexagons and I'm working away on number 5. So we're on Wednesday, come 12 o'clock. Oh, I didn't say, my temperature that I take is 12 o'clock based on the most local weather station to me, which is Bryce Norton. Okay, and I'm keeping track on these little stickers, which are from Stalogy, which I will then stick into a book. But they're quite useful. Okay, that's enough talk about temperature blankets, because I've been talking for, I don't know, 15 minutes already. Right, other projects. One that is relatively close to completion, living in my, oh goodness me, what are they called, these people? Woolly Originals? Woolly Originals. Living in my Woolly Originals bag. What? Yes, Woolly Originals Dragon Boat bag, which is made using yarn dyed by Ellen of Mrs. Lamb's Yarns, or Kalokshek Ellen. It also has my Beware of the Smiling DM badge and my, it's a bit squiff, Yarn Maiden badge, because they link to the person that these are for. I am making some socks for one of my oldest friends. I have one. And a leg. I'm about to start the heel flap. He has what I call princess. He's a princess. It's awful. He's very sensitive about things being too tight. So while his feet are the same size as mine, just a bit bigger, these are 72 stitch socks. So I didn't mind doing them 4-ply. Normally with men's socks, I will only do them DK or sport weight because there's so many more stitches. Like my father, when I make him socks, it's always DK. I love my father dearly, but I will not from scratch make him a pair of fingering weight socks or sock weight socks. I will, however, make him socks from a sock tube. So that'll do. Anyway, so yes, this is West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply, which is again British breed, British wool, and some of it's blue-faced Leicester. I think it's 30% blue-faced Leicester. 35% blue-faced Leicester, 75% wool and 25% nylon. Much like Colour Lab, it is it's superwash, so you can shove it in the washing machine. And this I think is called Hidden Gem, but it's basically a purple fade. It's very lovely. His favourite colour is purple. I am doing the usual thing I do, which is I made the sock to the kind of sizes I felt were good, and then I counted all the rows, put bulb stitch markers in there at every 10 rows, and then I've been moving the bulb stitch markers over every time I've got to that stage on the other sock. So yes, I'm about to do heel flap. I am working on these on Licker 2.25 wooden needles, which I'm really enjoying using these because they're a bit more they're a bit flexible. I bought secondhand a set of the Licker interchangeables, which I'm not enjoying as much because the thicker you go, they're not as springy. But for sock needles, I really like the wooden needles. They're much nicer on my hands. So yes, that is a current work in progress, which I'm hoping I can get done by the end of January, and give them to him, and then start the next pair of socks as gifts. I've sent IOUs to another friend who has exactly the same size feet, or rather he tried that sock on and went, oh yeah, that fits. So I'll make him exactly the same. So I owe him a pair. I owe my husband a pair, which will be from a sock tube because he has size 13 feet. I owe my father a pair of socks, but they're DK. I owe this friend's sons hats, and they've told me what they want. And I've said to them they'll have them by the next time they need a hat this year. So, not this season, next hat season. Who else do I owe? Oh, I owe a dice tray to my DM. I think that's it of gifts. Or of gift certificates that I have sent out. Yeah. But yes, this is a lovely bag to take around for a sock project because of this strap, so you can literally hang it off and just knit as you go. But I want to get the heel flap done and dusted before I go to... Actually, I probably... Do you know, I'll probably take this to Unravel with me. And it'll be my... Unless... I'm going to get it finished at some point. Right, next in an advent bag, you'll see why, this is by Mrs. S Creations, my baubles bag, is my only advent project. I also have my Notions pouch from West Green Loft Yarns. This is woven in her hand-dyed yarn. It's got my Little Drops of Wonderful pin and my small business supporter pin badge. So that is from Ali of Little Drops of Wonderful, and this is from Corner of Craft. So yes, my little Notions pouch in there, which I love. This is my Lay Family Yarn Advent, and I am making it, for those of you who watched Vlogmas, I am making it into a brioche adventure wrap, which currently looks like that. It is a parallelogram wrap, so it looks a little bit funny right now. but it will be a flat but with diagonal ends wrap/scarf. For the keen-eyed among you, you will see that I've made a mistake across a whole row in this row. I'm not going back and fixing it because it shows why you should never put things down. That row, I don't know what happened, but when I picked this back up again after 6 weeks of not working on it, I did something in that row, didn't notice, and just merrily carried on. So it's noticeable. It is noticeable. It is noticeable. But I think it's a nice little, oh yeah, wasn't that silly? Weren't you tired? On here is also the gingerbread house stitch marker I bought from Kelly, which is made by Simply Serving, who are a US-based notions maker. And yeah, so this is up to day 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so 7 stripes so far, but 8 colours because 2 colour brioche. And I'm on colours 7 and 8 at the moment, and it will just merrily keep going as I keep going with my advent. It's a really nice, I take this to work and I sit at lunchtime and I sit at a coffee break once I've had my tea and my biscuit. And I'm sat there with my colleagues. We all stop for half an hour at 11:30, which is it's a really nice thing to do. I've never had that in a place that I work where everyone just stops for 11 to 11:30. We just all stop. And there's a lady who serves tea and coffee. She has biscuits. On Thursdays we have donuts, and it's just. And particularly at the moment when there's only a few of us in, because we've been told that we should work from home unless we're student facing, have a mental health reason to be in the office, or are teaching. So I work at the Maths Institute at the University of Oxford. There's a lot of academics who are currently teaching, and currently our plan is that we are teaching face-to-face. So a lot of the academics are in, a lot of the students aren't in. So like master students, some of the research students who are the ones that I work with aren't in. But we have a common room. We stop and we sit, and I sit and I knit on that. And the brioche is easy enough to remember how to do it. I do have to look at the pattern every time I come to the end of a brioche section and go into a garter colour change section, just to make sure I'm doing the right thing at the start of the rows. But other than that, it's a really nice, meditative, I can chat while I'm doing it project. Last, but by no means least, living in my Christmas little grey girl bag, which I love. This was new this year, and my favourite is Father Christmas in his Speedos, snow globes. This is, I think, her TARDIS drawstring small, can't remember, is my 12 Days of Christmas design. I designed this for Helen of Giddy Yarns 12 Days of Christmas box. Obviously the 12 Days of Christmas have finished now because it's the middle of January. Middle? I don't actually know what day it is. 19th? But I've called it the Giddy Quinn cowl because for some reason all of my designs must have a nod to the yarn dyer. And yeah, it's supposed to look like baubles a little bit. So each bauble row, which is actually 2 rows, is a different colour. And Helen's 12 Days fade, it fades beautifully. But like, so some of my pattern designers, and I'll pop on some of my pattern testers. Some of my pattern testers did high contrast between the bauble rows. Or the Harlequin rows. It's Harlequin stitch. And some did a fade, and they all look absolutely lovely. Yeah. One issue is I haven't finished my sample. So, while the 12 days is over, I haven't finished my sample yet. Helen designed the knit pattern that went in the box as well. This will be released at the end of... It will be released in the next few weeks, by the end of January. For definite. So if you do want to get your hands on it, I will pop a link to my PayHip store. And once it has been released, I'll pop a link to the actual pattern. On my PayHip store, there are there's 3 patterns at the moment. This will be the 4th. There are, yes, so 4. There will be 4 patterns. There is an offer that goes on all of them, which is if you buy my newest pattern, you get a percentage off one of my older patterns. It's just an extra thing of kind of like buy one, get 10% off the next one. But it's only if you buy the newest one. So at the moment, the Gems in the Moss Cowl, if you buy that for full price, then you can get, I think it's 10% off one of my other 2. So just as a kind of thank you, thank you for buying my patterns and supporting me. Thank you so much for everyone for the support of the last pattern of the Gems in the Moss Cowl, which I did as a kind of collab between me and Gemma of the Little Grey Girl. The reaction to that has been amazing, and I'm so grateful. One, to Gem for suggesting that we collaborate, and also for just the absolute joy it has been of seeing these things pop up on Instagram. It's my favourite design so far. This one's good, but the Gems in the Moss one, I think it's the pops of those little gems in there that I just, and it's the yak yarn as well that my sample went in. It's just, yeah, I love it. So that's my whips. I have a couple of other things that I want to kind of do as quick projects. I have a couple of FOs that I can't show you right now because they're gifts, and I know the person who I'm gifting them to watches this, so I won't show you those until they've been gifted. I'll be back. DPD. Right. It was actually quite a good segue, wasn't it, to life stuff. Christmas went by okay. I had a little bit of a meltdown at the end of the year. Helpfully, now that I've had diagnosed depression for a while, I know the signs. Chris knows the signs. There was a point where he basically just confiscated my phone for a day so that I could just switch off, which was amazing. But otherwise, I'm okay. I've given behind me a little bit of a spruce up and moved some stuff around, which has made this room feel a little bit less cluttered. It's still cluttered. I am that person that likes to see all my things. But things are in more sensible places now. And I'm just trucking along, really. Amelia has gone back to school. We were supposed to go skiing at the start of the year, but couldn't because France had said that we couldn't, which is fair enough. They were protecting their people, but I was really looking forward to going skiing. Oh well. We'll go again at some point. It's not a big hardship. Chris is really busy at work, but okay. He had a really good 2021 work-wise, so I think he's just kind of coming down on the other side of that. Don't get me wrong, 2022 I am not expecting to be anything better than 2021 or 2020. But we're manageable. It's manageable now, isn't it? Like we've got tools to deal with the disappointment and the general fury at the government and all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of just trucking along. I am planning another design. It's kind of in the formulating in my brain stage, but I can show you the yarn, which is this. This is yarn from Helen of Giddy Yarns. This is her Eeyore colourway, a unnamed colourway, I don't know what this is called, and her Rabbit colourway. And I've said that I will design a 3-colour shawl, a 3-skein shawl with it. It's probably going to be Winnie the Pooh themed, but I haven't quite decided yet. But I spent a lovely few hours with some friends on Zoom on Monday where we were discussing kind of themes and how and what kind of stitches I was looking at and all that kind of stuff. So they've given me some ideas, which has started the brain fizzing. I thought I would try and have it done by East Anglia Yarn Festival, but I don't know if it will be. So it'll definitely be in design stage, but whether it'll be ready for release at that point, probably not. But we'll see. We'll see. I might get a burst of energy for it at some point and then just get it out and test it and all that kind of jazz. Yeah, other than that, everything's good, really. Works good. I'm in the office for mental health reasons. I did a mental health awareness course and I'm going to be starting my mental health first aider training in April, which will be good. And I just love being in there. I love the students there. They're a lovely bunch. And yeah, they're a lovely bunch, actually. This is like every job that I've had at the university, the ones that I enjoy the most are the ones with the student contact, and the fact that like I'm in my office, they come to my door and go, "Hi, Soph, can I just," or they come in and they grab some chocolate from the bowl I have on my desk, or something. Like, it's a really friendly place to work, and I love that, and that student contact is just what I live for. So I really enjoy that, and it does keep me sane most of the time. Okay, that's it, my lovelies. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do comment below to be entered into the giveaway, and those who have won the finish along prizes, do get in touch with me on Instagram. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.